dangerous is when the universe pick you and you put on the magic glasses. There's rules that go with them. You can never take them off. You never see things as they're supposed to be. You see things as they are. And you can never force nobody else to wear them.
I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, yeah. During the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I, for one, I like to go to bed free at night under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts, but they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out. And I don't understand. Roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. And I have my doubt that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. I have my doubts, so I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. We're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back up. Yes, I have my doubts. So we're all messed up and out of touch. Let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. Well, the things I think while I lie awake and contemplate at night are wearing me out.
Good evening. Me not speak a lot here. Let me catch my breath. Oh, man, good evening. Yeah, I've got this new thing, additional thing, if you will. I don't know what's going on. Get a ton of mucus, and it feels like my lungs get coated, and then I just start getting all lightheaded and not much fun. Anywho, I think I'm good now. I don't have a lot tonight. I've got 2 tabs open and the headlines for the day. There just really isn't anything that stood out, not a whole lot anyway, that stood out and said, you need to talk about this. In fact, I don't know, even the articles I got, I believe the second one is something we need to talk about more than this Enrique Terrio deal, but I'm not going to forget this deal. 1 second. Now, I should say I'm not going to overlook this deal. Be more accurate. Proud Boys. Do I like them? Nah, I'm really not much into groups where you get together and beat your chest and talk about how big Billy Badass you are and how special you are, and I don't need that type of whatever you call that. I think a lot of the groups are pretty goofy, to be honest, including Proud Boys. Yeah, I understand what their aim was. I understand, all that, and it's I stand behind a lot of the things that they stood for. But I think that and I'm not talking about the January 6th deal. I'm talking about anything but January 6th. It's about how you go about things. And Proud Boys could have approached things a little bit smarter. And again, I'm speaking to anything but January 6th. Okay? There's a whole lot of troubling things with that group, but none of them, and I want to make a strong point of this, none of those things deal with racism or any of the stuff that they get accused of doing. I mean, it's silliness. Just all of it is just silliness. And it doesn't lead to anything. I mean, look at where we're sitting now. Not us, thankfully, but Enrique here apparently isn't going to be going anywhere for a while because he got a 22-year federal sentence. For what? That's what I want to know. For what? I'm still failing to see, first of all, how they get away with even calling it what they call it. Nonetheless, how they've been able to come up with these charges against multiple individuals. Terrio's long sentence for seditious conspiracy reflected the judge's finding that he committed an act of terrorism, despite the fact that he was not in Washington on the day of the riot. He wasn't even there. Was not even there. 22 years. I don't have to be a fan of Proud Boys. I don't have to be a fan of Enrique to say that's bullshit and to speak out on it. one of the things that it makes me feel warm and fuzzy. No, not really. I call people out on hypocrisy. I do it all the time because it's bullshit. And if I were to say that I stood for the Constitution, that I stood for the Second Amendment, and then start picking and choosing from different groups of people and saying, well, they shouldn't be allowed to own firearms, they shouldn't be allowed to vote. Am I really truly supporting the Constitution of this nation? No. I've said it a million times and it holds true. Freedom isn't about what you defend for yourself. Freedom's about what you defend for the people that you disagree with. That is freedom. If you fight hard for them to be able to keep their voice, and if they do the same in turn, hey, nobody's going to get everything they want, but you're not going to have the government having groups of people at each other's throats while they're running around doing whatever the hell they want to do because nobody's actually paying attention to them because they're all too busy fighting over bullshit that they were pitted against each other with to begin with. It's a game. And that's why I can't get past political discussion with somebody about, like, as in going and voting and stuff. Because it's... Come on. At some point, we have to understand, wait a minute, this may make me feel good, but is it really doing anything for anyone? Sure, voting might make you feel good, and I'm not telling you not to vote. But the question remains, is it doing anything? And the answer is no. It's a resounding no. And it doesn't matter which team you're on. It doesn't matter which side you defend. The answer is no. Because that's the whole game. To keep you fighting with each other so they can just get away with doing whatever the hell it is they want to do. But yeah, if you're somebody that says you support the constant pinball preparedness is bad about this. He talks about supporting the Constitution and all that stuff, but then he wants to talk about who he wants to restrict what on. That's a dictator. Just for the record. Especially if the rights that you're wanting to decide for people who disagree with you are rights for voting in self-defense. I mean, that sounds... Is that not Hitler-esque? I mean, that's like... Line them up in the ditch and shoot them, right? I mean, pinball preparedness. But people say he's a man of integrity. People say he's a man of honor. That he doesn't want people to work for a living wage. He doesn't want anyone that that disagrees with him to be able to vote or to be able to protect themselves. It's not what I call integrity. That's what I call a piece of shit. It is what it is. I'm not the one doing it. I'll damn straight call it out. That's what we're supposed to do. People used to do that. And it used to, people used to kind of keep each other in line. But now it's all keyboard warrior talk, if there's any of that. It's about all you get. Anyway, extremely wrong what is happening to Enrique. And, we could sit there and play the semantics on where we go from here. Oh, well, if Trump gets voted in, he'll pardon him. And I'm sure that's probably true and correct. And I've got no problem with it. The guy shouldn't even be in this mess to begin with. Imagine that. Somebody I don't like belonging to a group that doesn't trip my trigger, and I can still stand up in defense of them. Huh. Wow. Amazing. I don't know what to tell folks. I don't. There has been they've got a term for it, I guess. Lawfare is what they call it. Lawfare, I believe, is the term. It's basically where laws and courts are used in order to do injustices to you, which is what's happening here. Another one, Stuart Rhodes. I'll bring him up too, because he's another one that got a lengthy sentence. 18 years. And I don't like him. I don't like his organization. It was fake from day one. But it is what it is. He did nothing to deserve to sit there and go to prison for 18 years. This is ridiculous. And the reason why it's so bad and it will continue to get worse is because nobody is holding their own accountable. And this is what happens when no one will hold their own accountable. One of the things that pisses me off so bad is when you'll tell somebody about an action that they shouldn't be doing, and their response is, well, the other person did it, or something to that liking. So? People play so many frickin' games with bullshit and then try to justify it. That's the first problem. We have to quit trying to justify anything we want to do just because we want to do it. That leads to this. Howdy, DM Ryan. I got a second one here. I don't have really a whole lot. I mean, it's terrible. It is truly terrible. Not the only one, by the way, involved in nonsense as far as charges. Julian Assange is going to be in the news. I don't have his tab open, but apparently, I guess they were trying to get his extradition, taken off, and that did not happen. So, and I don't expect it to. That's another case to where it doesn't even make sense on the surface, because with what he's charged with, doesn't even make sense because he's not a U.S. citizen. You kind of have to be a U.S. citizen to commit the crime that he was charged with. It doesn't even make sense from the surface. Let's see. Doctor provides update on top U.S. senators' health scares. Of course, this is Mitch McConnell this time that we're talking about. Now, I don't know if this is true or not. I didn't go look or even try to find out the truth, but I believe it was Glenn Beck that I recall talking about it. And I typically don't feel like I need to double check Glenn's word. He's pretty straight arrow. And I think it was him that mentioned something about Feinstein. I guess in a hospital or something, hooked up to a bunch of machines, or I don't know. Apparently she's in real bad shape. I mean, as in bad enough shape, she's really, truly not able to fulfill her duties. And I sit there and I think about this, and we got Joe Biden, we got Mitch McConnell, we got Feinstein, we got Pelosi. I mean, look at all of these individuals. And it's, one of the reasons why I say that there ain't a single one of them in government that you can trust, because just open your eyes and look what's before you. And then ask yourself, how come not any one of those people are pulling the rug out from underneath of them? I didn't say not raising hell, not that you've got your Marjorie Taylor Greens and your, you're going to have those people. I call those pressure valves, pressure releases. That's what those people's jobs are. They're to speak to their particular political party and to help vent so that you never come back to them and say, but I thought you... You know how many people will deny to this day that Donald Trump said, take the guns first, due process second? Or later, one of the two? Yeah. There is still a ton of people that will deny that he ever said that, when he clearly stated it on live video. None of these people are on our side. And if they were, they would be forcing somebody's hand to do something about the nursing home that we call Congress. I sit here at a loss when we've got clear evidence of a sitting president involved in crimes beyond imagination. And we've got enough evidence as it stands to lock him and his crackhead son up for good. Which is probably only another, year or two for Biden. But, it might prevent Hunter's overdose. So, might be good result come of it. There ain't anybody? Nobody. Sergeant at arms? Nobody. There ain't nobody in the military, in the chain of command, nobody nowhere that it's just went across their mind that, wait a minute. What this nation is supposed to be and what is written on that piece of paper from long ago are two totally different things. And the biggest hurdle in the way of all of that, and the ones who largely caused that, are the same dinosaurs that for some reason can be laid up in a hospital, hooked up to a bunch of machines, and still keep their seat. Believe they did that with the Supreme Court Justice as well, didn't they? Yeah. Don't know what to tell anybody. The answer's in that same set of texts that was written long ago by the people that, gave our nation its title and stuff. The answer's in there. The men need to get their testicles back. Quit circle jerking each other at the pellet grill. And start having some serious damn discussions. why I don't hang out with anybody. All it would do would be piss me off. I'll be real honest. That's all it'd do. Because they're going to want to go on and on about some TV show, some sports event, game, whatever. Some kind of social bullshit. I ain't got nothing in common with all that. What'd you learn today? What'd you learn today? If that's not the conversation that you want to have with me, I'm probably not going to be much interested. I'm just not. I didn't realize this, why I did. There's a lot of things I didn't realize why I did them the way I did. And it just clicked later on, and I'm like, thank you, Father. This is one of them. I've always been this way. I'd rather be learning something or doing something, either practicing something to make myself better or, just being productive somehow. Even if it's painting an aircraft for the flight simulator, I'm being frickin' productive. I'm not just sitting there playing a shoot 'em up game, not putting anything else into it other than mindless time. I'm actually being productive, putting something back. I've actually uploaded, texture files to flightsim.to where people can download them and fly the same paint jobs that I'm flying. Gonna be doing a whole hell of a lot more of that now that I'm good at not good at Substance Painter. Let me clarify that. Now that I know a little bit about Substance Painter, there's going to be a lot of good stuff. I feel like that meme, I don't know if it was Chris Rock. I think it was Chris Rock on Saturday Night Live, the crackhead bit. Got any more of those 3D substances? Seriously, I've spent days going around getting all kinds of different substances for Substance Painter. Because I'm an addict. Thank you, Adobe. Worse than crack. Adobe is worse than crack, I'm telling you. Anyway. I'm a different person, and I know that. And so instead of forcing myself on other people, I'll just stay away from the pack. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. It does suck. What else are you going to do? What else are you going to do? Because it's really hard for me to keep my mouth shut. Let's see. Well, I reckon I can run through the headlines and then run out the door. Don't have to do trash today because yesterday was a holiday. Now that I finally got that through my damned head. I guess I was going to spend 2 Mondays instead of, I don't know. Earlier this morning when I for some reason was convinced it was Monday, that it was Labor Day. Like, let's see. Have a couple of vapes and we'll rip through the list. I'm doing other stuff. I did do a check that out. Oh, I didn't even have that up. I was talking to you about those articles and I didn't even bring them up. Sorry about that. That is, I was ripping that around above LA today. That's, I think, San Diego there. But I was ripping that thing around LA today. And that thing is a blast. It is a lot of fun. I Trying to see the first one. Oh. I think that, yeah. Yeah, that's actually a lava texture. And I just went in and changed up a bunch of stuff. There's actually even a lot of depth on that. And I took all that out because it's like on a plane, it should be flat. Sometimes texture is okay if you leave it on there. It gives it kind of like a cool look, like that Snake TU-45 I did. It kind of looked kind of cool with the texture there. With wood, it looks cool with the texture there. But with the lava, it was just where the height difference was just so much that, and if you tried to, you know, shrink the height down a little bit, it wouldn't look right. It didn't look right. So I just took all the bump out of it, if you will. That's crazy, stupid program. I mean, the most crazy, stupid thing you could ever imagine. Here, Monitor 2 Studio. That should be here. And I am still outputting. Okay. Hang on. F16, yo. You're gonna, this is incredible. You gotta see this. Not green lava. What do I want? I don't know if Birch has the, well, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, man. Okay. I did up a couple and I'm like, ooh, I kind of like that. So I saved those as individual files because I had already kind of set the settings and stuff like that. Oops. Might help if I put it over on the right side. Okay. Bring the mic over here. My materials are going to be loading up down here. That is, that's birch, right? That's, you know, like birch camouflage. Now, that not awesome or what? And if you look at it, let me change the angle of it a little bit. And come in. If you look at it, you can tell that there's actual, and I'll show you how I can, in the click of a single button, watch, it'll go away, the difference in height. That was one of the options, and there's the other option. And it laid down a lot more flat. Rough you can also take off the metal, but yeah, it's just it's really kind of cool. Everything got its texture back. But what I'm going to show you, this is the cool part. What do I want to do? Well, this is an easy, quick one. Let's do leopard. I'm just simply going to grab it. I'm going to drag it and drop it on there. And I'm going to change a couple options real quick. Like right here it says UV projection. I'm going to change that to triplanar. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to scale it down a little bit. Like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click that and click copy layer. And then I'm going to come to this layer because I'm not going to do this long. I'm almost done. So you see it there, and that one layer doesn't get these panels here. That's a different file. So then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to paste layer. Right? Paste layer. And that's going to take all those same settings that I used for that previous layer. And you see how everything lines up? Like it's supposed to line up like it actually would. And there you go. You now have a leopard print. And it's not just print. Oh no, it's got the hairs. You now have a hairy leopard print F16 in a matter of moments. How do you like them apples? Anyway, no discard. That is That is what I'm talking about when I say I'm playing with Substance Painter. Pretty cool stuff. Alright, get my windows back in the right places. Yeah, I'm like so madly in love with that software. That is so cool. And it does everything. Because there's like 3 files that does that. There's a color file. And then there's, they call it PBR. And I don't really know the right words for PBR. I don't know even one of them. PBR, damn it. And anyway, you have 3 files. One's color. And then another one does things like how metallic it is, how much light it can catch, and a little bit of the bumpiness. And then there's another file that's primarily bumpiness. That's your normal file. That's primarily bumpiness. So anyway, and then you can have emissive files, which is a light. Essentially, it's a light. It produces light. Just kind of cool. All right. And see, I would much rather learn how to do stuff like that and be able to have the skills to do stuff like that, even if I'm doing it for myself. Because that's all I give a damn anyway. See, I'm not out. I don't do this stuff to impress other people. I do it so I can do my own custom stuff. I don't give 2 shits what anybody else thinks. I am cut from a totally different cloth than most people in society. But that's how I am. And that's why I just kind of stay to the side and keep to myself. Because most people don't understand. And in fact, most people want to mock it for whatever reason. I guess, I don't know. Guess because they're too lazy to learn, I guess. I don't know. Alright. Got 2 headlines. Don't take that back. 3 headlines from last night. I'm not sure if the first one I'm going to say I covered last night or not. A new drone attack on Moscow repelled, says mayor. I don't know if I covered that last night or if I think it happened right after the show. Kim Jong-un to meet Putin in Russia, says media. That was also last night, as well as Swiss financial industry. Suffering from sanctions on Russia, says media. Let's see. Brazil takes U.S. crown in critical crop exports. Latest Chinese smartphone finds way around U.S. sanctions, says Bloomberg. Olympic chief rebuffs Ukraine's demand. Footage purportedly shows first ever loss of top UK tank to enemy fire. The Challenger 2 tank that they bragged about, how they weren't going to be able to take it out. Oh yeah, they put it on the battlefield. Boom. Like everything else they put on the battlefield and say, oh. And trust me, these people know this is going to happen before they even fill out the shipping label. As if it's that easy. I'm just going to ship a Abrams tank halfway across the world. You got that, right, USPS? Let's see. Russian MOD estimates Ukraine's counteroffensive casualties. Countries can benefit by refusing to sanction Russia, says a study. Well, yeah. No alternative to Russian gas for now, says EU country leader. Baltic PM decries witch hunt over Russia scandal. German car industry issues energy price warning. Political leader proposes dating agency for single parents. EU plans to take advantage of Xi Putin absence at G20 summit. Riots erupt in EU country after Quran burning protest. Russian oil exceeds Western price cap. Ukrainian parliament sacks defense minister. Ex-Russian regional customs chief injured by Ukrainian bomb, says media. UK minister apologizes for expletive-laden rant. I don't know why that was so hard to say. Most Russians share strong connection to land, says survey. Kremlin hits back at Armenian leader. No peace on the horizon in Ukraine conflict, says Erdogan. Corruption undermining Ukraine's defense, says EU country president. Kremlin clarifies Putin's comments on gas pipeline attacks. A major upturn in Russia's new car sales. U.S. and Philippines conduct naval drills in South China Sea. Biden's wife tests positive for COVID. I'm sure you've already heard that 10 dozen times. Russian decision shocks oil markets. Kiev spent $17.6 million on faulty drones, a report reveals. Insane. Russia and Turkey plan long-term energy cooperation, says Erdogan. Ukraine has assassination directorate, says ex-security chief. Northern Irish police ponder carrying guns at church, says media. West using Zelensky's Jewish heritage to hide Nazism in Ukraine, says Putin. Running for president would be racist, the Biden allies tell Democrats. Drone footage captures husk of first ever destroyed Challenger 2 tank. Ukraine used cluster munitions against civilians, says Human Rights Watch. Yeah, that's not a good thing. I mean, and the fact that the United States supplied them, that's not very good either. Tucker Carlson interviews man who allegedly had sex with Obama. Yeah, you know, I don't know if it's true. Nobody knows if it's true, except for Obama and this cat. What did it change? Oh, well, then we'll know, and then Michelle. What does it change? Nothing. Maybe we ought to quit being drama queens and focus on something worthwhile and not worrying about how big Michelle's dick is. Just a thought. Let's see. Pope praises epic times of Mongolian Empire. France rejects Assange asylum request. Doctor provides update on top U.S. Senator's health scares. Nazi song gets U.S. Open fan ejected. I was going to say rejected, but I guess about the same. He was rejected and ejected. Let's see. U.S. judge hands... Oh, I covered that. So, anyway, that's it. That is, that's the headlines. I am going to take it for an easy night and get the hell out of here. So, hope everybody has a good evening. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.